Hello, my name is Nadine and welcome to Hop On Studio. Today I wanted to show you some wet-on-wet watercolor techniques that you can use in your card making and your other projects. To start with, I stamped and heat embossed an image onto my hot press watercolor cardstock. And from here we're going to start adding some color. So the key with a wet-on-wet technique is by adding some water before you start adding in color. And the reason I chose the stamped image is it makes it easier for containing that color if you're in a little less practice with watercolor. Start with, I'm just going to add a little bit of water onto my surface of my image. And I'm using a size 6 watercolor brush for this. Then I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of lemon yellow. And you'll notice how it moves. It blooms is basically the word that is used for watercolor painting. Basically, the color is moving on its own. Which is part of the reason you leave the surface fairly wet. I personally like the look of it. It is a little harder to control, but that's also kind of the point. So by dropping this color on like this, you start ending up with some really neat mixtures as the colors kind of combine together. The next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of this permanent deep red color. It's going to mix a tiny bit of the yellow in there with it. And I always think of this as being a tulip. And tulips will often have those veins of fun color in some of the places on the petals. Again, you don't have to manage all the colors individually. By adding that wet and wet technique, it does kind of bloom and move as it wants to. So it's a very simple way of adding some color in a really fun way onto this project. Actually, I want a little bit deeper in color here. And now I'm going to actually move on to doing the leaves. So I'm picking up some Viridian Hue, which is a deeper green, and adding a little bit onto the leaves here. Probably you'll find as you start watercoloring more, you'll want to move to a slightly bigger brush as you work. I like the zeros and the ones, but they're not ones to hold a ton of watercolor paint. So now I'm mixing a little bit of yellow and the green together to get more of a lighter green to fit into these leaves. The way that blended didn't quite show up as well as I'd like to, so I'm going to add even a little bit more yellow to that green. I might just pull some straight yellow in there. There we go. And it kind of mixes on its own. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit so the pooling doesn't affect the background that we're going to move on to, and we'll go from there. As you will notice that these colors actually lighten when they dry. So I want a little bit more deeper red along the bottom edge. So I'm going to add a little bit of the crimson hue to the permanent deep red, and I'm just going to catch these bottom petals in here. And by doing that, I think it adds a little bit more interest to this flower. So now the flower is mostly dry, we're going to move on to the next step. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have some clean water. One thing I mentioned in my beginner watercolor video is I usually use 2 buckets of water, one with clean water and the other one to clean my brushes after I've dipped into other colors. You also need to remember that this will re-wet. Any of the watercolor paint will re-wet, so you have to be very careful when you're working around your image not to drag a bunch of color across. And that's also where the embossing comes in, because it does resist the movement of the color outside of the space. it does kind of make this easier. If you were going to do this without the embossing powder, I would suggest actually leaving a little bit of a border just to prevent yourself from having like too much water seeping around and kind of causing a mess. So let's start with a little bit of the cerulean blue. I love cerulean blue. It's a really great kind of sky color. Another favorite of mine is actually the turquoise. So I'm going to put a little bit of both out. Sometimes I like mixing them together. So you can see that it blooms even just as you put it down. And that's kind of the beauty of working wet on wet, is that you end up with some really neat surprises when you work this way. And yes, sometimes the paper will crinkle a little bit. This is another reason I like making sure the other image is dry, because now that little bits of water come onto the image, I can just basically just pick them up and wipe them off. I don't mind having a little bit of yellow on my blue background. And if you don't put the paper, or tape the paper down like I haven't, you basically will end up sometimes with these spots of, it will curl a little bit, so you do need to be aware that that is going to happen. And if you don't like it, then basically just tape down your image. So I'm going to add in some dioxazine purple. Add a bunch of water in there to keep it nice and light. Let it mix a little bit with the blue. I'm going to bring in a few of the darker blues in here. I have this ultramarine, which is another great blue. I just love blue in general. Again, if you don't want this too dark, you can always go and pull some of this color off by watering it down with a little bit of water. In this case, what happened at the top there was basically I didn't wash my brush well enough, so it did actually pull in some of the blue that I was using below into the color. And this is where if you want a little bit more white on this is where maybe you take advantage and use a little bit of white. I know most purist watercolors say you never use white, but I don't really care all that much. This is to be fun. This is supposed to be relaxing. I don't have to totally stick to the purist rules of watercolor. That being said, it's one of those things where learning to adjust your piece so that you basically do try to stick with some of these watercolor rules, where basically you're able to control your paint enough that you do not need to use white, is not a bad thing. So I think that's pretty good. The only thing I want to do is add a little bit of my Winsor Newton metallic. It actually is a metallic medium that is meant for watercolor, and it's basically just adds a tiny bit of sparkle, and I like adding that tiny little bit of sparkle to my work. There's nothing wrong with a tiny bit of bling. And it's transparent, so again, like it doesn't go badly with the colors. I actually feel like it complements the colors quite well. That way, if you like a little bit of bling and you want a little bit more bloom on your card, kind of helps you get there. You can see I have a lot of water pooling on the edges. If you don't like that, you can always just take a piece of paper towel like I am here and just, you don't take it all off, because you're just going to basically end up with white spots. But by pulling the color a little bit, instead of it pooling and having these really sharp lines on the edges, you are able to have it look a little bit more like the same tone as the rest of the piece. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, if you could like it and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. As well, if you have any questions or comments on this project, please let me know. I would definitely like to hear them and I will respond to your comments when I see them. I also have a website, hopalongstudio.com, where I have other ideas for creative foundations and other techniques that can help you build a self-care habit. I hope that you have a really great week and I will see you next time.